knowledge he would have in those regions. I feel like he's a very flexible player because he has knowledge of North America and now SEA, which is a huge asset to his team. To have someone like that, you have someone on the fly that's going to be able to adjust because he's adjusted from NA to SEA. So what could he not adjust to, right?
True, yeah. You can see like the difference between this season and last season. All the teams have been influenced by like his arrival also because like we're a lot more aggressive this season as well, like as a whole in the region.
Well, they always say SEA love to play their aggressive Vainglory, right? So looks like Game 2's draft is underway now. Boy, I want your opinion. Who's going to be taking this next game?
I think we'll have to look at the draft, but I have confidence that Infamous, if they get like they first pick the Kestrel, and I think that will be their key to success because Spag is an incredible Kestrel.
Okay, so Infamous. Yes?
Yes, Infamous.
All right,
definitely.
Infamous for Boy. Going to be throwing it over to our casters. Riku and Esrai, take it away for Game 2.
Sky as the first pick of Impunity. I thought there was going to be like mirror matchups, and Sky is like, you know what? If we get the Sky, I'm going to counter it out with the Petal.
Grace is open, Lens is open. They're really prioritizing the really stronger picks, but I will have to see what Anime Save Me and Clowny is going to be playing this game, as it is really detrimental on how they're going to be setting up for the carries of Infamous and Impunity. And they're confident enough. What are they going to be prioritizing here? Let's look at the ban. Is it going to be, it's a crawl instead. It's okay. And let's see what looks like they're not in a hurry in terms of like, whoa, a Batiste.
Right. So the mindset here is, if you think about it, Sky is countered a little bit by Petal because the minions can actually take the damage from the forward barrage, and that just ruins the 2.7 changes again. You gotta get that lock on activated to get as much damage from this, or squeeze as much damage from the Sky as possible. So this Batiste is more of a prediction pickup, because the thing that could actually counter Sky as well from here is something that Uni plays well, if I'm not mistaken, which is a Taka. Taka, at least if you have that, without the Batiste, you can just dive in and keep sticking to this Sky with the Kaiten, with the Kaku, but they got the Batiste. So with that, Infamous says, we're not going to go for that anymore. Let's go for a Lyra, go for that double range type of composition, and then see if we can even get a Catherine here, which would be good to counter the Batiste.
Grace is still open. But no, that's a double. No need for Grace. My bad. Let's see what other damage dealer. You mentioned Taka, correct?
Yeah, but possibly no. I think they may actually just go for a Catherine. Oh, actually, no. They got the
Black Feather. They
the
already have a
Catherine
Lyra.
My bad. Yeah, actually.
They already have a Lyra.
Black Feather, yeah.
Fortress! Someone's going to be happy that a Fortress appeared in this draft, in this tournament.
Is Danielle happy with the Fortress?
I think she is.
Oh, he's smiling. Yay!
Anyway, this is interesting because we know that Infamous already has that momentum. They gave the Kestrel away. Impunity is fine with it. They're comfy with it. All they have to do is play around it. And it's actually pretty interesting how they're not going to be, like, Lance and Grace is open, but they're going to be veering away from that play style this time around. And they'll be settling with a Lyra instead of the jungle.
We're not going to see. I was hoping for a weapon power Fortress, but it's not going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second game in this best of 5 for the finals of the 2017 Summer Championship Finals for the Southeast Asian region. Into the Halcyon Fall we go, and straight off the bat, 3v3 in front of the Kraken pit, and all hell breaks loose. Spaghetti goes in, takes out the Glimmer Shot, try to do some damage as Infamous go in for that jungle invade.
Jungle invade, they will. Let's see if there's going to be a steal. Looks like no, it's going to be landing onto the Batiste as Sky is going to go back to lane, and Blue City and Cote d'Ivoire is going to be together here on these rotations. Meanwhile, we still see Kestrel, actually 3-man there in the jungle side, going to be playing it safe for now as Sky will safely farm on towards the lane.
So you can see that there's going to be a really aggressive rotations here coming in from Impunity because, again, they got the Fortress, they got that Dragon Blood contract, which means that if you activate that item onto a target, if I'm not mistaken, you do mark them for the next 3 seconds, and the next basic attack will slow the target down and deal bonus crystal damage, which is good for early game bursts. So Impunity here are really looking to get that early game, even with a Sky pick. which I think in a way it does get offset because now this is the 2.7 patch. Sky is nerfed, so what they're doing is trying to get extra damage to compensate for that lack of damage in the early game that the Sky doesn't have.
I agree with you there, Azurai. So meanwhile, for Infamous, they have the sigil safety as well for the movement speed boost, as long as it is placed correctly. They also have the backup arcane passage to be used either offensively, bulwark it, and then you can just trap them all in that large circle. Meanwhile, they can use it defensively as well. When things get a little bit too sticky, they exit into the fight. Uni is going to ramp up as well as the Black Feather if they want to dive into either Def Q or Blue City or Cote d'Ivoire. Just let them take their pick this time. And I expect, a lot of great positioning from Spaghetti in that active camo as well, if ever Impunity decides to go all in. And we'll see how this is going to work for them.
All right, check this out. There's going to be Cote d'Ivoire leaping in, goes for the lunge. Look, it's lots of damage, but Uni counters back with the Feint of Heart. So with that in mind, a little bit of good tussle here for both of these teams. Something that I actually just wanted to point out before I bring it back to you was you can see here that there's a little bit of fear in Spaghetti's eyes, because if you see one of his items, he actually bought up a flare. He never does this, if I'm not mistaken. He always relies on Clowny or SNK to go for that vision and, to scout out for him. But because of, I think, how he's respecting Impunity's dive, he has a flare of his own just to check a brush before he goes in and, pushes forward in the lane.
Definitely don't want to be unprepared there when he tries these rotations. Spaghetti, as you know, really likes to intercept these sorts of retreats. If ever, Impunity decides to back away and decide it's the wrong idea, going to make sure that they secure the kill and make sure that there's also safety for Spaghetti. But now we're going to be seeing Clowny is going to be zoning and trying in the brush here for Infamous.
Yeah, gonna start it on to Cote d'Ivoire. There's the Ordained, there's the stun. Bulwark as well. Imperial Sigil will keep him alive as well as the heal. Goodness me gracious. And Def Q is being chased down. You are in no man's land. First Blood will be taken by Blue City here, but not so long after. Uni gets another shutdown onto Def Q.
Yes, sirree. Look at that. Clowny will grant Impunity First Blood, but they will get a consolation prize this time around. Definitely not detrimental. But Ordain being activated on towards the Kestrel. Spaghetti getting choked down into so much damage being dealt right there. Impunity catches Infamous off guard.
Dragon Blood contract for you. Extra 100 crystal damage. That is just good chomping. Here comes the Fortress. Ow, indeed. And gets the second kill within 10 seconds. Goodness gracious. Also, just a thing that I noticed, this guy is building up for weapon power.
Ouch.
Okay.
Autos
First time.
are going to hurt there for the side of Impunity. And it works well because after the Fortress dives in, Ordain, everything is just combo there for the side of Impunity, and they can immediately chunk down Infamous, whoever. Because Spaghetti, Uni, Clowny, both of them are very squishy. Not very, we're squishy. And the thing is, GOT heals coming from the Lyra is a counter, is getting countered by the burst, if you will.
So interestingly enough here, she's going to go for that weapon power build, which is, since your forward barrage, I believe, does take critical strikes, he's going to be building up into what I would believe is, okay, Service Master is going to go for a little bit of the sustain build. I thought he would go straight for like a Sorrow Blade to Tyrant's Monocle just for maybe the critical, but I think this is better since if I could be mistaken, the forward barrage does also apply on hits, so that means that you do get heals back. Trying to make sure if that is real, but if that is the case, that's pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. Impunity is going to be settling for this early, just being patient, early patience here, as they've been getting a lot. They've been getting 3 kills already for the first 6 minutes. They're going to be satisfied with that. The roam from Blue City and Def Q going to be finding the correct targets. Clowny is going to be with Uni as he will bump into a dangerous side of the jungle. Clowny almost getting hit. Ordain connects. Bad Mojo. Sigil's just gonna heal that right back up. And Impunity, on the other hand, another aggressive lane push this time around. They can afford to do so as energy is lacking for Spaghetti. Glimmer shots charging right in. Let's see what they're gonna do.
So you can see right now Impunity still going for that type of 3-man rotation that works so well as they try to go in and put pressure in the lane, then
Clowny?
jungle, and then try to go for the steal. Clowny's a little bit out of his mind. He's going to get caught out here as he tries to get the last shot onto that gold mine, maybe even to get some vision so that the one-shot, one-kill can get the last hit. Uni's right here. He can actually go for the on point. Is going to be close, but not close enough. So there's the gold miner taken by Impunity.
This is game number 1, Deja Vu. What Infamous does is they distract you in the jungle so that Kestrel will sneakily take another turret. They're going to keep doing this. They've seen it at game number 1. Impunity seems like they get a little bit too tunnel vision, but you know, they don't have much of a choice. That's the death from above being activated just to land a couple of hits on towards the turret. But that is a very sneaky play. Infamous is very patient. It's okay to get, you know, to give away a few kills here and there, as long as I'm gonna get my objectives, as long as I'm gonna get my farm. Because come mid game or pre-late game, I'm gonna hit like a truck. Spaghetti's gonna be satisfied with that, as well as Uni on the Black Feather. So they're very patient with it. They're okay with the kills.
So I think actually in a way as well, if you think about it, like aside from maybe the insane amount of damage, if you look at it from a perspective of just of these teams, like let's say, can this question, can Infamous play as one person at a time with Blackfeather and a Kestrel? Yes. As Impunity on a Sky, on a Fortress, and a Batiste, away from each other, I think not so much, but together they're very strong. So right now, Infamous is trying to not ride a wave and just try to go around it, and that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to say, and it's working pretty well for them in this earlier stage.
Exactly. Infamous is not playing Impunity's game. They're not allowing themselves to be put in an awkward spot that they're not prepared for. So they're playing their own. They're playing their own tune. Spaghetti this time around will join the cavalry here as Uni will bump into the fortress.
Yeah, again, you got to take note that Vainglory is a game that even though you get the kills, it's satisfying. It gives you slight advantages, but at the end of the day, it's still the objectives that come into fruition. It gives you more gold, and look at that. Even with 3 kills ahead, Infamous still have a slight gold advantage with just the pushes, with just the safe farming from Impunity.
Oh, there we go. Bulwark and death from above just to try to zone them away. Uni is so low. He explodes into the damage. But meanwhile, Spaghetti is low on energy as well. They're going to be finishing off targets. Arcane Passage being used towards the turret. Sigil for the movement speed. Their targets is Spaghetti this time around. Very low. 1 shot, 1 kill. Will not be able to finish off Cote d'Ivoire.
So, aside from actually the pedal being able to block out the glimmer shots, I think a Fortress's attack from the pack can actually do that as well. That's why in terms of the fights, Infamous cannot deal the damage that they want to because Spaghetti can hit his A skill. And DefQ, he got the chase as well. I mean, it was Clowny. There was no defense, and he dies.
They're defending this. Rather, they're trying to contest. Was not successful. Had Clowny losing his life as he bumps into Cote d'Ivoire earlier. But meanwhile, I mean, DefQ rather on the Sky. But earlier, DefQ on the Sky is definitely something that Infamous should respect. The zoning and the placement of death from above, very, very effective just to block off any escape paths and securing the kills here. But if Infamous can replicate what they've done they've done so earlier, but hold that thought, there's gonna initiate.
And here we go, there's gonna be the death from above. 1 shot, 1 kill connecting onto Blue City. The damage is surreal. Will Infamous go in for the chase? And it looks like Uni wanting to actually go for that Rose offensive from the sidelines, but Impunity were backing themselves into a tight corridor, and he doesn't want to deal with that for the meantime because the Fearsome Shade from Blue City was still up, because of the attack of the pack. The pack attack is still there, and they don't want Spaghetti to not deal any damage because he was CC'd out of Oblivion. So Infamous and Impunity, I think, you know, deciding well on when to initiate and when to just back off.
Both of these teams are very smart in terms of what you said, Asarai. But meanwhile, learning from the mistakes from earlier, Infamous decides to be a little bit more passive as the damage coming from Impunity is a little bit too strong. They want to decide on defending this turret.
Do they really want to go for it? Because you can see Uni's positioning. He wants to just charge in from the sideline, puts out the on point, but it's really not going to commit or connect onto anybody. Blue City eats another shot from the ultimate of the Kestrel, but to the victory here of Infamous, they have not lost this turret for as long as Impunity has been sieging it. Great job.
Great job indeed from Infamous, but meanwhile, Impunity already reads that kind of strat. They don't want to give Spaghetti on a Kestrel that room to keep having lane control, to keep having more vision and map control for Infamous. So what they're doing is they keep rotating around the map so that Infamous is forced to actually contest the objectives, especially the gold miner. Whenever they pursue the gold miner, Cote d'Ivoire, the flares, they spot them all out, decide to hide behind this wall over here. But we'll see. This might be another initiate.
And here we go. There's the death from above. Gonna take him all on, as well as that fearsome shade pushing him back. They're still alive into this one. Impunity cannot follow through. That turret is giving enough support here for Infamous. Now the damage from the one shot, one kill. Will Uni actually go in with the Rose offensive? Actually, no, there is no charge from that one just for the meantime. But both of these teams have taken very significant amounts of damage, although Clowny as the Lyra will be able to heal them back up with this Imperial Sigil. And Impunity, they gotta back away. They can't really find anything anymore because this fortress has started to not snowball anymore, but just melt, technically. I mean,
Melt.
the aggression.
The aggression.
It's melted.
All right.
Snow jokes.
Snow jokes. I missed that, unfortunately.
Are you doing pirate jokes now?
What?
No.
No, I'm not. I'm saying I as in letter I.
Okay.
All right. So meanwhile, that Mojo is going to chunk them down, but they're going to be A-okay for now. 1/4 HP already on towards the turret of Infamous. They're defending this well. Less leeway for Impunity as long as the turret is there. I did mention earlier that the chase in lane would be more effective and more room for the fortress to be used at its maximum potential if they have more map control, more vision control, so that they know where to strike, and the longer the chase, the better. They're going to bump into the Kestrel.
Downies with the sounds. Oh, he survives. How did he do it? Passage, heals, and Imperial Sigil. Rather, Fountain and Imperial Sigil keep the captain alive. Uni does get caught in the Ordain, but the damage from that on point.
Whoa.
Here's the one shot, one kill. They're not in a good position. Here comes the chase from Infamous. They're trying to break down more members of Impunity. Blue City, defensive damage. There is the Empowered Bad Mojo bursting them down. Clowny will be soaking up as much as he can with the heals from that Imperial Sigil as Spaghetti goes to work. Spaghetti doesn't have a lot of energy anymore as he's trying to just go for the shots. Can he go for it? Blue City is very scary right now, but he doesn't have any energy anymore, or he's trying to regenerate it. So now, Infamous, their stride has been ended for the meantime, but they can go for an objective here. Will they go for the Kraken? I think that's too ballsy here for the meantime, and yes, so they back away.
We've seen this before. I was a little bit afraid of Spaghetti that he might do a ballsy play just to secure the kill. But they already got one, so they landed, they fought on the turret. You see Bulwark being laid out, Ordain there being blocked out. Def Q very low, tries to series strike the safety as Blue City is the only one left. No energy already from Cote d'Ivoire, and Uni was too deep. Understandable, no heals there coming from Clowny as she lacked energy. So those autos were the only offerings for the Lyra there in that fight, as well as Spaghetti, who was lacking energy as well. But meanwhile, you see that turret is just all shields.
Props to the on point there from Uni. It actually hit 2 or 3 members of Impunity there, and I think that dealt enough good starting damage that Infamous were comfortable for actually committing in the team fight, which was pretty damn good. Now, itemization-wise, double Tyrant's Monocle, Sorrow Blade for Spaghetti. As for DevQ, he has the Breaking Point, Bone Saw, and the Serpent's Master. He's really trying to ramp up this forward barrage as much as possible to maybe, I guess, even without the on point, it would still deal good damage, but with the on point, it would deal incredible damage. And here, the fight breaks out once again.
That from above being used, Arcane Passage for the safety. They entered the passage as well. DevQ is a little bit safer now as he is landing the hurt on towards Infamous. Look at that block. Beautiful. Oh, look at that.
The shield.
Oh no! He's gonna still die! Spaghetti's the next one to fall, and only Clowny and Blue City left in battle. It is the captain versus this Blue City right here as the Batiste. Don't think it's gonna be enough.
Oh,
the turret's dead. Here's the stun coming from the Ordained. Sigil gonna try and let the turret help him out with the autos. Bulwark just for safety measures. And 2 for 2 so far.
I mean, that was great from Impunity, but Infamous played that as well as they did, because both of them had the right idea. Loss of damage from Impunity, but Infamous had so much spacing, good mobility from Uni's Blackfeather, and then Spaghetti was just able to, do the footwork that he needed to be able to survive as long as he did. And Impunity played on the middle of 2 turrets. Who does that? That was crazy.
And they get rewarded by finally getting that turret down. They're slowly chipping away the structures, and now they're going to be even at this point in terms of structure takes. But flares are going up here and there. Impunity might do a sneaky attack. Uni with the pokes here. Bulwark just for safety. Scaring them away. Sigil for the movement speed. Rotating here near the Kraken side. No vision from Infamous there. Just a lot of flares, but who is their primary target?
Their primary target, I feel, would be Spaghetti here for Infamous. Their primary target would mostly be DevQ. If they can burst them down, that would be perfect. But now, Infamous, are they really going to force the fight for the meantime? There's a lot of flares here, just so they have both of these teams that have some vision. Pack attack activated by Quart of Wa, but it immediately gets cleared up here by Infamous. So now Infamous, they know that one ultimate is on cooldown for Impunity side, so maybe they can use this, because now when a fight breaks out, the pack attack will not be able to block out the shots, the glimmer shots of Spaghetti. So this could look pretty good for them by the book, and they might even force the fight on the Kraken. The back from DevQ, but it seems that they'll be back for a fight if ever Infamous do go for the objective.
Infamous and Impunity playing this patiently, but one thing that I noticed is that Infamous this time around is preempting their skills. They're not giving any room. By the time Quarterval lunges onto Infamous, the Bulwark is going to be placed down. No, before anything happens, they just activate it just to be safe. Flares here and there, not letting Impunity that kind of opening. But the thing about the composition of Impunity, because of that Fortress dynamic, they're not the type of team that will come in different directions. They're going to be coming in one direction as a pack with the Fortress to maximize and utilize that. So, skill shots and Uni's on point is going to be coming from one direction.
That was a huge ultimate coming in from the sky, but DevQ's taking too much damage. They have broken the wrath of the Kraken, and from one direction, Infamous, from the other, the Kraken, they were pinned down, and 2 members of Impunity were bursted down to oblivion, and this Kraken, Quart of Wa, get back in there, try to go for the steal, or else it's going to be a freebie for Infamous.
Great job waiting patiently for the correct timing. Again, as this is the dynamic of Impunity's composition, is that they have to stick together. They're going to be coming in one direction. So Infamous has that mindset of anticipation. Skill shots on points will be right in that direction where they're going to be coming from. Bulwark going to be laid out. If things get a little bit too sticky, Arcane Passage. If Impunity follows through, you know where to aim. And that is the the way Infamous is playing against this composition of Impunity. They get the Kraken, they get rewarded, they know where to go, but here's a
Hold on
launch.
to that thought, as there is a death from above that doesn't really do anything quart-wise, trying to do the best that he can, but he has gone too deep into enemy territory. They do get the kill on Spaghetti, and I might have said too much right now as Impunity is dealing the damage, but hold that freaking thought. Uni is still alive right here. Doesn't have to charge anymore from that Rose offensive, but he's going in aggressive with the Bane of Heart, but Blue City clutching it by the skin of his teeth, although even with the ace, the Kraken has broken down the base.
All Infamous had to do was prolong the fight. Impunity took so much time. You saw the microing skills of Uni in the Arday, not allowing the stun. It's just that the Batiste got the empowered stacks, and that's how he got sustained. That's how he got more painful. The longer the battle, the more souls he gets, the more souls he harvests, so he gets rewarded. DefQ decides to, no, I'm not going to help you there, man. I'm just going to go to the Kraken because I know you can handle it. So great job from Impunity, but they took too long. They did what they could, but then they had to suffer from the damage of the Kraken. 3 seconds till Blackfeather on this, Uni on this Blackfeather is going to respawn, and Infamous is back into the playing field.
Yeah, there's just a lot of, I guess, still in this late game, Impunity, they would still want to go straight in the face of Infamous because they can deal damage comfortably even if they're from mid-range to close range to straight up in your face. Bad Mojo does well because it is like an AoE pop compared to the Glimmer Shot of the Kestrel and Infamous. Or rather, Spaghetti not really wanting to be in front of his opponents, would want to try to get far back as possible. Uni, on the other hand, he can actually go in front of his opponents, but the thing is, there's so much AoE bombardment coming in from Impunity that it doesn't matter if they can get their damage out, get straight in the face of Infamous. They will force Infamous to try to go for a reposition, but there wasn't enough time, and all they can do was try to go for the fight and hope for the best, but it wasn't really what they hoped for, but still the Kraken was a good backup plan.
It was a good backup plan indeed, but now Infamous knows that they're in a very tricky spot. Kraken already spawned, which means this portion, this area at this point, 23-minute game, ladies and gentlemen, 24 rather. The stakes are high. Now they're going to be chunking down that Kraken, and is this going to be a deja vu? Will Infamous, looks like they've learned their lesson. They don't want to commit to it anymore. If they're going to be investing skills in autos, then it's going to be a little bit too tricky, as Clowny will face check. Death from above, Aserai.
Uni has to back away with the ultimate, the chase onto the Kestrel. You can see so much commitment coming in here from Impunity, but at the same time, the Crystal Sentry has joined in onto the fight.
Oh.
1 shot, 1 kill, a little bit too far away,
whoa.
but DefQ, my god, is he ballsy or what? Uses the ultimate as well, but Blue City got into the fight. He gets taken down. DefQ right here trying to run away, but the heals will take him away. There is the Arcane Passage. The chase will be real, and the Lyra gets a 1 kill as well. DefQ, can he get away from this one? He's trying to go for that forward barrage for the exit, but the chase is on. Here comes Clowny. There's the Bulwark. There's the death from above, but it's not gonna be enough, or is it? They charge in, Bane of Heart, and that's gonna be the ace.
That Crucible, the placement of Death from above was perfect.
GG push. GG push.
26 seconds for Blue City. He's a Batiste.
GG push.
Do they have time?
They're gonna go
they
for it.
are. Oh man, looks like they are. 16 seconds on the clock. I don't think they're gonna make it. Looks like Clowny is gonna be using the sigil to provide sustain himself. Batiste already alive. This struggle, is it gonna be real? Game number 2 goes to Infamous Aserai.
They've done it. 1 player during game 1. Now they make it 3 players who break the base. Oh my god. And is this? Yeah, this is Impunity. Look at them. They're red in the face. I think they're angry.
Of course. I mean, that was an